What's good, Commanders fans? It's been a long time since I've been live, man. We had a disappointing season, man. Ron Rivera, 8-1. He finally gets over 7 wins with a disappointing season. Got my guys with me, my elite channel members. If you guys want to sign up, I already see somebody asking. Cypher XD. He says, how do you become elite channel member? You just go down to the link in the description and you sign up that way. Howell's greatest highlights. What's up, man? Raymond Jaquette. Yes, this is happening. I know we're on CP time. Reggie Red says, Ed, what's up, bro? What's going on, man? So got my guy Kenny Man DMV. Make sure you guys subscribe to him. His channel is in the link. His channel link is in the description. Does basketball content, cooking people at LA Fitness, Anytime Fitness, anywhere you can get it. He's getting buckets. So make sure you guys subscribe to him. DC Bay, make sure you guys follow him on Instagram. His Instagram's down below too. It's never a dull moment. He's a troll account. Always putting stuff up all the time. You got my man Warpath. You guys already know. Make sure you guys sub his channel up. Does Washington Commanders content, gets a lot of guests on there. Did you finally get Fred Smoot on?
No, we can't do that.
You got to get Fred on there, man. You got to get Fred on there. So make sure you guys sub up Warpath. And my guy Brandon, that's my co-host, Locked on Wizards. Make sure you guys check us out. We're going to be going live tomorrow night. The Wizards play the Knicks tomorrow. So make sure y'all check us out. Brandon did an episode tonight too. So make sure y'all check that out too. All right, let's get into it. So first question I got for you guys. Warpath, I'll go with you first. So the playoffs. We're the only NFC East team not in the playoffs. Which win surprised you the most? Was it the Cowboys win or the Giants win last night? Which win pissed you off the most?
The win that pissed me off the most was the Giants on a Sunday night in late December against the Washington Commanders. What pissed me off because we didn't handle business. I don't care about anybody else and whatever else they're doing. That's what's wrong with us today is we always worrying about what other people are doing or what they can't be doing or what we got to compare it to. The fact is we didn't handle business, and now we watching everybody else up in here having a good old time reaping the benefits of it. Dallas should have beat Tampa yesterday, and they did. They showed what they could do. The Giants are well coached, so that's why they won, right? Because everybody knows if you get Kirk Cousins in the clutch moment, I mean, it's it's pretty much a wrap. But I can't be mad at these hard-headed rivals when we can't even tie our shoes together. So why in the world would I be mad at them? They doing their job. I hate this thing. I hate a lot of fans like these Dallas fans out here. They celebrating like they done won the Super Bowl already. So that's what makes it, because those ignorant Bamas are still up in it. But I'm mad at us more than anything because we had an opportunity and we had chances and chances and chances. It's kind of like Bay, right? You know, his wife keep on putting him out of the house, and he said, "I ain't gonna do wrong no more," but he keep on doing wrong. So that's what we feel. That's what we like, and that's the life of Washington fans.
No, that's a good answer. I mean, Ron Rivera didn't even know we could get eliminated.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like you said, tie your shoes. Oh man. So yeah, I mean, like you said, we couldn't even tie our shoes. I mean, we couldn't even beat the Browns, who were already eliminated at home. So it's things like that definitely piss you off. Let's go with you, OG. You got your Brad Johnson jersey on, throwback. I like the jersey, man. So what were your thoughts about? Because we got to talk about the playoffs. What was your thoughts about the weekend with the NFC East?
Well, I think some time ago I said that I was hoping that the NFC East would get back to being a force to be reckoned with, and not only that, I wanted to see us, excel, and we had many opportunities, man. There's so many games that we can look back and say, well, dag, man, if we'd have won these 2 or these 3 or these 4, we would have easily been in the playoffs, and we don't deserve to be there. I mean, it is what it is. I'm more now focused on the sell of the team, and hopefully that Ron gets stripped of all his power. I'm thankful that our division is representing real good. I don't like the Cowturds, but I respect that. I respect that they went and did something that we didn't do. Win the game that they needed to win. There were games we left on the table. They beat the brakes up off of Tampa, and that was it. New York handled business. Philly and New York is getting ready. Can you imagine had all 4 NFC East teams had been in the playoffs right now, how explosive that would have been? That would have been epic, iconic. But unfortunately, man, it didn't happen that way. And kudos to New York, to Philly for not only winning the division, but also winning the NFC, and to the Cowturds for doing what they do. But Sunday night, the madness is over. I'm done. Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it would have been crazy. Now, what I will say, I got to give the other teams props. I see my guy Damon in here. You know, he's a Cowboys fan. He's excited. So I got to give him props, man. I didn't think they were going to blow out Tampa like that. I knew it was going to be a close game. And the Giants are a well-coached team. They took care of it. And Kirk Cousins, you know, 4th and 7, he throws a 3-yard pass. So, I mean, Kirk Cousins is going Kirk Cousins. How about you, Kenny?
What was the question again, man? That just made me upset just thinking about all of that, man.
Just which win pissed you off the most? The Cowboys or the Giants winning, and what was your thoughts about them, you know, winning?
You know what? It wasn't even those games. I'm still stuck on, even though, you know, we did lose to Cleveland, we did lose to New York. But what was Ron thinking when he said, "I'm going to put Wentz in"? Bruh, that right there, it boiled my blood, because all we need was a puncher's chance. And he took that away from us. He took that. He knew, I don't care what Heinicke did, his record was 5-3-1, right? And the team was playing better. Sometimes the team will rally around one person, right? Because that person right there is the underdog. He's the underdog. You know what I mean? Sure, it's a good story, but they were really playing for him. They were really making plays. He really threw the ball on 4th down multiple times and completed passes. What more do you need to see? I'm still stuck right there.
Yeah, I mean, Ron said he wanted a spark, and the spark gave us 3 picks. You know, he should have got benched after 2 picks. You know, he was 2-4 before he got hurt, and then we going on a run with Heinicke. So, yeah, I didn't like the move either, you know, and that's what happens. I mean, we lost to the Browns. Deshaun Watson was terrible in that game, too. So I just hate even thinking about that game. That game makes me sick to my stomach. How about you, Brandon? What was your thought about the NFC East and the playoffs this weekend? Which win pissed you off the most?
I mean, they both pissed me off, but I'm not surprised by the Giants, because, you know, the Giants, they're well coached. You know, this shows what a well coached team can do. You know, what is it, year 3 of Rivera, and they just came in, and I mean, so that shows where good coaching, where it goes, man. The Cowboys, yeah, I did see Dallas beating Tampa, but I don't think Dallas going anywhere, man. I mean, because Dak just looks like trash. I mean, I think they're going to go into the offseason. They're going to have a quarterback controversy, man, because, you know, if you look at earlier this year, man, Cooper Rush came in and he played well. You know, so with Dak struggling a little bit later in the year, man, that's going to be a whole new topic. But looking at us, man, you know, I was listening to y'all, man, talk about Wentz and Taylor Heinicke. I mean, we were really between a rock and a hard place, because on one hand, you got a guy who's got an arm, he's got the intangibles, but it's all mental. I don't know what his deal is. He's just a statue. You know, he can't move. You know, Heinicke's got heart, man, and the heart goes but so far. I mean, you know, his questionability with some of his throws, you know, he just shows what he is. You know, he's a good backup. So, I mean, going forward, man, I don't want to jump ahead, man, but I think Sam Howell, man, is, you know, I think that's a good move. I think that, you know, kind of let him do his thing and focus on the other areas, which we should have did this year, especially with the O-line, because Lord have mercy, we had an O-line on budget, which disintegrated, you know, in the middle of the year. So, you know, I think that going in with Hal being the guy and focusing on other areas, especially the O-line, linebacker core, and the secondary, I think we could be in better hands this offseason as opposed to others, man.
Definitely, yeah. I know you're at the game screaming for Heinicke to go in for Wentz when Wentz was playing like trash. But, yeah, I mean, let's move on to Scott Turner. Scott Turner was fired last week. He got an extension last year. I don't know why he got that extension, but it was about time. It was a holiday for me when Scott Turner got fired. I think it was the right move. Some people say he was scapegoated, but I think it was the right move. Some excuses about quarterbacks. But, you know, when you run a 4th and 1 toss to John Williams and you lose 3 yards, plays like that, Curtis Samuel reverses going for negative 3 yards on 3rd and 3 when you have a guy like Brian Robinson. But I won't say too much. I'll let you guys chime in about Scott Turner. Do you think it was the right move firing Scott Turner, or do you think he was scapegoated? Warpath, I'll start with you. Warpath, I think you're on mute.
Hey, there we go. I'm good now. Yeah, no, I think this was a day to celebrate Scott Turner, and I think there should be people in the media that should be fired for their defense of Scott Turner. I never forget listening to Lou Holder, and he interviewed Sam Fortier from the Washington Post. He said, I think Scott Turner's an underrated offensive mind in the league. Excuse me. I'm like, his situational play calling is not there. He had so many quarterbacks he could work with. The best quarterback that he had was a man with a leg and a half. We had the pirate-legged Alex Smith as a quarterback that went on a 5-1 record, and that's all he could do. He had Taylor Heinicke, able-bodied. They went out and wasted time and got Ryan Fitzpatrick. They thought they could do this with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Nobody else in the 20-year history of his career felt like Ryan Fitzpatrick was the guy. Anyway, may have been scapegoated, yes, but he needed to go. He shouldn't have got that contract extension last year. But since Ron Rivera is like his adopted godfather, I guess they felt that he had to do that. But there was no changing. I go back to the Giants game, right? What was it? Let's run a flea flicker on 2nd and 3 when we're down, right? Just because we're smarter than the average bear, boo-boo. And then what happened? We didn't get it. Then what'd you do? Let's run with Brian Robinson. No, that's right. We're going to run Curtis Samuel up the gut. It's stuff like that that made no sense. Those were fireable offenses. And then the performance you put out there against Cleveland Browns, that just was the nail in the coffin. And why didn't Sam Howell rip the ball across the field? Because he was trying to save his job in the last week of the season. If not, he would have probably thrown the ball about 25 to 30 times. But, yeah, I'm done with Scott Turner. Really done with the entire coaching staff besides a few, but he needs to go. Zampese needs to go. He is gone, but Zampese needs to go too.
Yeah, I was happy when they fired Scott. Scott was one of the worst offensive coordinators. He had no situational awareness. All the Curtis Samuel reverses. How about you, OG?
I keep looking back at the reason why it happened. Ron gave this dude all this power, man, and Snyder gave Ron all this power, man, and he holds no one accountable, and he kept Scott around because Scott's father gave him his first opportunity, so he wanted to be loyal to this dude, and then he wanted Scott to do what he wanted him to do, and it's a lot of stuff that Ron isn't saying with those missing eyebrows and stuff like that. Yeah, you could say that Elroy Jetson was the scapegoat, but at the same time, this all falls on Ron, man. His inability to coach this team up, to coach his staff up, misuse of player personnel, misuse of play calling, misuse of time management. I mean, this dude is incompetent, and for him to still be here, I get it. Yeah, the new ownership, if there is a new ownership, they will make the final decision. But this dude, man, he should not be allowed to draft a quarterback. He went through 8 quarterbacks. You said that Sam Howell was not ready all year long, and you put him in the last game of the season, and he shows off his North Carolina ass. And here we go, looking at another situation, another offseason with Ron and his puppets, and Ron missing eyebrows. He's sitting there short-winded, short breath, can't answer questions. He didn't know that we were eliminated or we could be eliminated. This man is incompetent. He represents the true identity of what mediocrity is, man. I'm gonna retard my language, man, because I feel some kind of way about that dude, man. Like, he shouldn't be here, man. And the idea that he may be picking a quarterback or trading for another quarterback and giving up more assets and do the same thing on an epic failure level is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. It's not acceptable. This fan base deserves much better. Especially y'all young fan base. Y'all have not got to see how we partied on Pennsylvania Avenue. Y'all have not got to see how we destroyed any and every fan that came into RFK. You're not coming in this house. And this dude, all he cares about is, oh man, it takes 3 to 5 years to go ahead and build a culture. The culture does exist with winning. You go to the daggone training camp, that's a piece of trash. You got to walk through a mall just so you can buy something to go to a field so you can sit on the ground. Everything that Snyder has done has embarrassed this fan base. Man, I'm gonna go ahead and be quiet because I feel good today, man. I got my stuff in this cup and I feel good. And man, I'm gonna go ahead and
Jim D said it looks like you were right, man. You were. I mean, you were the most negative person in the chat. I think we had a stream before the season. I think you said we were going like 4-13. You were wrong about that, but everything negative you said about Ron and his staff, you were 100%. You were 100% spot on about that, OG. You were for sure. But I think it was the players that got him fired. Brian Robinson spoke up. The article from Sam 48, Terry McLaurin liked the tweet. Logan Thomas's wife, even she chimed in. Logan Thomas chimed in. Players were upset about Scott Turner. The game against the Giants where he didn't give the ball to Brian Robinson. Brian Robinson was getting 7 yards per carry. He lost a couple games. Even with Carson Wentz, when we got sacked 8 times by the Eagles, he kept dropping Carson Wentz back over and over and over again. You know, so Scott Turner, he didn't do himself any favors, and he needed to be fired 100%. So people who were defending Scott Turner, you got to watch the games. How about you, Kenny?
I mean, I feel like it was a whatever move, typical. Like we all knew that was coming probably. So it was a scapegoat. I think Ron, though, at the end of the season, he should have came out and addressed it to everybody and say, hey, look, my bad. I messed up. I was wrong about this. But he on some sucker stuff. He ain't say nothing. He gonna fire the young boy and make him the scapegoat, but you don't take your charge. That bothers me. That's scary right there in the future. When another man, you know, can't admit when he's wrong about something. It's okay to be like, hey, I messed up. I should have put this boy in or this guy in. You know, I shouldn't have started him because he didn't have enough time. He was coming off surgery or whatever he was coming off. You don't just come in and cook. That's not how it works. I don't care how fast he run out the tunnel. You need live bullets. Okay? You know what I mean? In order to get back in the rhythm, to get back in the flow. So honestly, yeah, Scott Turner, but Ron still should have. I wonder what Ron says to them in the locker room. Oh, we all play for Ron. We love Ron. What is he saying to them? What is he saying to them? Because I need some of that drunk stuff too. Get me drunk off whatever you're doing too, bro. Because you're pissing me off. You're pissing OG off. Look at him. Look at him. You know what I mean? Come on, bro. He's right. He's right. That's it.
Yeah. No, very well said. I mean, OG got the nice RG3 poster in the back too. Yeah. But Ron, I mean, he said Scott just did his job. He said he did his job in the press conference. And when I heard that, I was like, yeah, Scott's about to get fired. How about you, Brandon?
I think we need to check his cup because if you think he did a good job, man, then I don't know what he's watching. You need to check his cup, give him a drug test, whatever, man. Because look, Scott Turner needed to go, and he really the first domino to fall because his play calling, man, was predictable. It was stupid, like you mentioned, man. Fourth down, you going for a toss. I mean, you gotta work with you gotta evolve the play calling around the personnel you got. Look, we all know what Cyril Heinicke is, man. A lot of heart. He can run. He can extend plays, but he's not going to make these throws like Wentz. And then we know what Wentz can do, which ain't much. Because, I mean, Wentz was just – so looking at Scott Turner, man, he needed to go. I mean, he was so predictable. It was terrible play calling. And look at Ron, man. How are you confused about whether your teams are eliminated or not? You know, look on his face like, oh. Like, come on, man. Really, you didn't know? Like, it's terrible, man. It's just – and then if you look at it, he doesn't need to be the GM. Go let the GM be the GM. You know, the whole Wentz situation – you took on $28 million, right? And then you had to gut your O-line to pay the scrub. And then you wonder why you can't protect nobody because the line is – you got all your buddies from Carolina out there, man. It's just – it's abysmal, man. You know, Ron, he should go. I don't know why he's there. I understand they want a little bit of stability going to potential new ownership, but he's lost in the sauce too. Now, I was a big guy that railed on Del Rio, man, and I still think he might need to go. But, you know, did the defense play better than the previous year, man? But still, you know, we need to go ahead and just clean house. Let the GM be the GM. Find a younger head coach that's innovative. You know, try new things. You know, these old school approaches got to stop, man. You know, we got to find new blood, new ideas, and bring it to this. Because if you really want to start a new era, you need to start fresh. Bring new ideas, bring new personnel, and really utilize the personnel you got. So that's where I'm at, man.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, he should be fired. I think the only reason why he's staying is because of the whole sell thing. And the new owner, whoever comes in, they're saying JP Finley came with the report that the sale is going to be soon, but when is soon? It's January, so the sale could be done in March, but you got free agency in March, you got the draft in April. It's hard to bring in a whole new staff, and then you got to find a coaching staff and scouts and all that stuff before the draft and the free agency. So it's a tough transition. So I don't blame the new owner if they do keep Ron, but of course it's a lame duck season. It's a lame duck season. We don't want Ron picking the next quarterback. So we're going to transition into Sam Howell. So a lot of people are talking about Sam Howell, of course. Jim D says, looks like OG was right about us. Thank you for the donation. Sam Howell, quarterback number 1. So this is the report from John Jones from CBS. I know you guys probably heard about it, saying that they're telling offensive coordinators, candidates, that Sam Howell likely will be quarterback number 1. Do you think this is big news? Do you think Ron will try to go after a different quarterback, or do you think this is good news at all? Warpath, will start off with you.
I think it's common sense. It's the most common sense thing that's came out of Ron Rivera's Washington probably since the jump, right? You got a guy, you want a young quarterback. You got him here. He went out there and performed against one of the better defenses in the league, had their starters out there, right? The fact that I keep on seeing people talking about us going out to get Ed's boy, Derek Carr, or maybe be in the play for Lamar Jackson. I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to throw your hands up and say, this shit's not working. Maybe we just need to go and develop a guy. This is a lame duck year. This is a mulligan year. There is nothing that happens this year outside of going to the playoffs that is going to probably change the outcome of what will happen with Ron next year. This, for all intents and purposes, is his last year in Washington. Don't matter what. This is basically what Carolina was with Matt Rule last year. He's trying to find an offensive coordinator that's going to just be a good stopgap guy who may be able to get the dial up just a little bit. But at the end of the day, it don't really matter. But going back to your question, though, Sam Howell, man, yeah, roll with him. The young man put in his work. Apparently, he's good. He's a good kid. He's a leader in the locker room. And you can't get up for what he said in the locker room after. He said, we rolled up on him. Let's go and roll up on him next year when we go out there. That's all I need to know. He got that look about him. So, but we didn't have people that had that look about him. And they came out and they've been flood cars. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. I still think Ron is going to try to get a veteran quarterback. Derek Carr. I was on the Derek Carr bandwagon last year. Yeah, I was. I admit it. I was wrong. He had a down year. He had a down year this year, but he had a solid year the year before. He took a team to the playoffs that, the coach got fired. You got some of their second round picks and first round picks got released. A lot of craziness was happening in Las Vegas, and he was still able to lead that team to victory and take him to the playoffs. So I thought Derek Carr would have been a great option. But now, yes, I have come to my senses, and I am all for the Derek Carr bandwagon. How about you, OG? OG, are you on mute? Take your time, man. Take your time.
He that drunk? What's in that cup, man?
Oh, man.
Take your time. Technical difficulties.
Lord.
All right, yeah. Kenny, we're gonna go to you, OG. Let me know when you're ready.
Is he there yet?
Yeah.
Is he there? Nah, he still ain't back yet.
Oh God.
Yeah, he had to come back. Sometimes you gotta take a walk. You know what I mean? Throw some water on your face and be like,
Right.
let's go.
What's up in that cup?
Right.
What you sipping on?
Just straight Henny pop. The Sam Howell thing. Again, we seen that coming. My thing is this though: what takes to if you're an NFL pro scout and you around football ex-NFL players, what takes so long for you to figure out that he could play like that? Football, like NFL. I would know immediately if that guy right there that be killing us in practice, he like that. Put him in the game. Kind of like when Terry stepped on the scene. Remember when Terry first or second play of the game, And I think Case Keenum hit him on a bomb or something. I think it was in Philly. He was like, who the hell? Terry McLaurin. Yes. You know what I mean? He's probably doing that in practice, is what I'm saying. So Sam Howell, I don't know because he was a third quarterback on the roster. Was he getting reps? I really don't know how that goes.
No, that's a good point because Ron didn't even want to start Sam Howell. Taylor Heinicke had to say no because he was going to start Taylor Heinicke. Taylor Heinicke had to say no and just start Sam. So the whole evaluation process, what's going on in practice, what's going on with Ron, you didn't want to start him until you didn't even want to start him in a meaningless game that, we were already eliminated. So, and then now he's transitioning because Sam Howell plays well. Now you're saying that you possibly want to start him. So that makes me not even want to trust Ron anymore in the quarterback evaluation process. OG, you got everything set?
Man, I'm hoping I do. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Man. Thanks, Kenny.
Shout out to Chris Hunter. He's a channel member. He says Crazy Dan can fire Ron on his way out. I guess Chris, he means that Crazy Dan can't fire Ron on his way out.
I don't know what to say, Ed. I'm lost for words, man. It's like we keep beating the same drum over and over and over. We go from mediocrity to mediocrity. We keep saying the same stuff. It's like we are better coaches than the people that they're hiring. They don't know how to use the personnel. They don't know what personnel to put in. They don't know what plays to call. It's like, I mean, Ed, you and Corey hold me accountable more than Ron holds his assistants. Like that stuff really means something. Like we working together. I'm the head guy. You're failing in areas. Jack, he's still not at the level that he should be with that defense. He isn't. And Elroy Jetson, like, who are you taking your orders from? Ron he has too much power. Whoever the owner is, they need to strip him of that power and they need to hold him accountable. And if you can't get the job done in 5 games with all these slow starts that you've had since you've been here, you're fired. And not only you fired, everybody that you hired is fired. And I'm talking about from the president all the way down. I'm like Mike Singletary. I'd rather deal with 10 people running up and down the field getting penalized than to deal with this one jerk that can't get the job done. I'm telling you, like, man, I know y'all wasn't born, but man, to see this team be feared, man, you talking about fear? That was us. You talking about respected? That was us. You talking about winning? That was us. I watched 4 Super Bowls. I watched us win 1, lose 1, then go back and win 2 more. Joe Gibbs wasn't having that stuff, man. This stuff Ron doing, this stuff that Snyder doing, that's pure abomination type of stuff. Man, I'm telling you, this fan base deserves better and more. It does. It does. And for y'all to hang in here and still be a fan of this stuff, that says a lot about y'all, man. It really do. It says a lot about y'all character, about y'all integrity.
Yeah, OG, you were preaching, man. You were preaching. I mean, 110%. I agree. Enough said. Yeah, Ron, he said it takes 3 to 5 years to build a team. You look at the Giants, Brian Daboll his first year. You look at the Jaguars, Doug Peterson his first year, he's in the playoffs. And Ron said it takes 3 to 5 years to get it done. And other teams are showing otherwise. Now, Ron, my keys to victory in every preview video was challenges, timeouts. He didn't know when to call a timeout. Clock management was worse in the league. Challenge through the challenge flag way too late was one of the worst challenges in the league. 2-point conversions. He loves going for 2-point conversions at the worst time possible. Ron Rivera, he just doesn't understand situational football. How about you, Brandon?
Well, I mean, I think we're still feared, man. I mean, you feared that you might get splashed with doo-doo water, might fall out the bleachers when you go to a game. But, I mean, look, it's really a two-edged sword, man. On one hand, it's common sense. Put Sam Howell in there, see what he can do. He's on a rookie scale, show up other areas and go from there. But you got to understand that if potential new management comes in, first thing I'm going to try to do is fix the attendance. And how do you do that? Names. A big name at the head coaching or a coordinator and a big name at quarterback. And that's why I think that they might make a move for a Derek Carr. Or, I mean, they had the reports where Tom Brady might have been an option, which Lord have mercy, I don't want him here. But I mean, that's what I'm looking at from that perspective. You know, new management is going to try to get the attendance right, and they're going to try to get those names in there and try to get people in the stadium. So, I mean, very often at night, common sense moves just don't happen in DC, man. But I mean, to me, if I'm the guy, definitely Sam Howell needs to start, see where he's at, because look at his intangibles, man. He can run, he can throw with accuracy, he can throw with, you know, he's got an arm on him, you know, he's got good IQ, you know, he's got good pedigree come from North Carolina, which, you know, North Carolina used to be a basketball school exclusively, but they're starting to produce some guys in the NFL, man. Because I mean, look, De'Ami Brown, which I know he's been up and down, but so it really depends on what new management's trying to do. You know, really, what's the vision going forward, man? Because if they're going to try to, you know, like I said, if a new guy comes in here, and because think about it, if I'm a new owner, man, and we have the worst one, if not the worst, one of the worst attendance in the NFL, I'm trying to get that right. So I could definitely see them going after Derek Carr or, you know, one of these veterans, but I think it would be a bad move, man. I think Sam Howell's shown enough with a small sample size, but he's shown enough that he could orchestrate this offense. Look at the weapons. I mean, you know, the weapons he has, he's going to succeed. He's going to have a pretty good year. You know, he's going to have mistakes because, you know, going forward, this will be his first, you know, it'll be his first year full-time as a starter. But no, I feel better with Howell at quarterback than, you know, this ever going revolving door trying to get a veteran and say, oh, no, he's going to do better here than he did here. I mean, look at Wentz. I mean, look at what he did in Indianapolis. I mean, you know, how many chances you going to give this guy? I think, look, Wentz is gone. You know, he's a backup, or if he's even in the league. But his starting days are gone because he's trash, man. He's just, and it shows, you know, it shows players the mental side of the game. You know, physical wise, he's got all the intangibles. You know, hate him or love him, Carson Wentz has the intangibles. But it's, you know, after that injury, he has not been the same. And it shows mentally, he's just not that guy anymore, man. So, yeah, I mean, it depends. You know, like I said, it's a two-edged sword because to us fans and enthusiasts and you know, Sam Howell should be the guy, but really, what's the vision that the new management is going to want for this team? So it's hard, man.
Yeah, I would start Sam Howell. I think we've done the retread route enough. You know, Ryan Fitzpatrick on 10 teams in 10 years, 10 seasons, 10 different teams. Carson Wentz, 3 teams in 3 years. I'm with you, Brandon. I think Carson Wentz is a backup right now. I think he's in the same boat as, you know, Jacoby Brissett and Case Keenum, Baker Mayfield. All these guys are backups now. Joe Flacco. He'll probably be on the Joe Flacco route. He was a starter for the majority of his career, and now he's a backup. Cam Newton was a MVP candidate. You know, people always talk about Carson Wentz being an MVP candidate. Now, at this stage of his career, he's a backup or he's out of the league right now. So I'm happy with Sam Howell. I could see us having a solid year with Sam Howell. My expectations aren't high because he's not a rookie anymore. But to expect us to make the playoffs with him and win 10 games is going to be a lot. A lot's going to have to happen. Ron's going to have to make some moves and actually bolster this team. He's got to attack the offensive line for us to even have a chance next year with Sam Howell. I just don't believe in Ron and his roster construction after bringing in Andrew Norwell and Trey Turner. That was some of the worst roster moves I've seen in Redskins. I'm not even going to say in Commanders or Washington franchise history. There's been some worse moves than that for sure. But to throw that offensive line out there was one of the worst offseason moves I've seen in a while. So I just don't trust Ron with this roster construction. Sam Howell with a different coaching staff, I would believe more. But I think Sam's got something to him, man. He's got the mobility. He can run. He's a dual threat quarterback. He leads guys. He has the arm. He led Jahan Dotson a couple times. Jahan even dropped a beautiful pass from Sam Howell. Terry dropped a really nice pass from Sam Howell. Sam Howell looks good, man. He's a tough guy. He's a tough runner. He breaks tackles. He's a strong quarterback. And I think he has the intangibles to him. I think he's a smart guy and a confident guy. So I want to see what he can do. I'd rather pay him at like $900,000 per year rather than paying Derek Carr at $30 million or Jimmy G at $20 million, trading for Tannehill, other guys that are going to be available. I'd rather go that route and just build a team and see what we can do. And if he is bad, the draft class next year is a lot better. You got Caleb Williams, you got May out of North Carolina as well. You got some really good quarterbacks next year. So I think it's in the team's best interest to move forward with Sam Howell and see what you can do and see what we got in Sam Howell. So, all right, let's go to free agency here. So we got some free agency, upcoming free agents this year. We're just going to do 2 at a time. Who should stay? Who should go? I do this every year. And shout out to Big Money Sonny with the donation. He says, the homie Ed, salutes to you, good brother. Just showing some love. When will the pain end? Hey, we're having it in soon. You know, hopefully Dan Snyder's selling the team. That will help it out. And hopefully Sam Howell, he can be a solid quarterback. I think he has a chance to be a good quarterback. He's got the receivers to throw to. It just depends on the personnel getting this offensive line together. Tanner C, thank you for the donation as well. He says, if Ron were to go, who would you want the new head coach to be? We'll talk about that in a little bit. We're going to get to do you guys have any head coach that you would want to see if Ron was fired? Do you guys have any names? Anybody can throw one out there.
The enemy.
Eric Bieniemy. Yeah, I mean, he's a winner.
I like his offense.
Yeah, he's a winner. I mean, they do different plays. You saw the trick play that they did at the goal line with Kansas City. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind being. I know there's some rumors about him interviewing and whether he's the play caller, whether it's Andy Reid calling the plays, but Eric Bieniemy, he would be an intriguing candidate.
Yeah, that's who I'm rolling with. For those reasons exactly. You know, that would be my guy.
Yeah. Are there any offensive coordinator candidates out there? I know Byron Leftwich just got fired. There's another guy from the Chargers that just got fired, Pat Shurmur. There's an interview with him today. You know, he coached up Case Keenum when they went to the NFC Championship. He coached Nick Foles when Nick Foles had a good year, threw 7 touchdowns in a game. He coached up Donovan McNabb back in the day. Pat Shurmur, he coached a couple good. Matt Stafford, he coached. I want to say Sam Bradford as well. So when Sam Bradford won Offensive Rookie of the Year, so Pat Shurmur, he was bad with the Broncos, but you know he's had a solid career overall. What do you guys think about the candidates that have been thrown out there? Anybody can go ahead. Warpath here on mute, and then Darrell Bevel is out there too. He coached the Seahawks. He was the one that coached. He was the one that coached with Marshawn Lynch. He should have ran the ball with Marshawn Lynch on the 1 yard line, but he decided to throw the ball. But he did coach up Russell Wilson. He did have one of the best run offenses with Marshawn Lynch in the NFL when he was coaching the Seahawks as well. So Darrell Bevel, he's an option out there as well.
Yeah, they're all lame duck. Offensive coordinator, placeholder guys. I like Darrell Bevel out of all of them, to be honest with you. I don't know about Shurmur, and you know, you kind of look at, we talk about him developing young quarterbacks. He had a guy named Colt McCoy when he was the head coach in Cleveland. How did that work out for him? Granted, Cleveland had a lot of problems, but and then he got Brandon Whedon. They still couldn't do anything. He got fired. So to this point, it doesn't really matter who they get. They can go out and get Byron Leftwich if they want to. He'll just get fired next year like everybody else will. So, you know, and kind of going back to y'all's head coach thing, I mean, I'm going to ask y'all a serious question. I'm going to ask y'all to think about this, though. Bieniemy's that great. He's this good. He's this good of an offensive mind. Why hadn't anybody hired him?
Warpath.
No. That's the easy answer. Why have they not hired? The Texans have hired Lovie Smith's unqualified butt.
Cut that out. Don't mention
But
that.
I'm saying, but why haven't they hired him,
They're
babe?
incompetent. Don't do that.
No, why haven't they hired him? That's the question.
They're never going
That's
to hire anybody who has a brain. The reason why
hadn't Airbnb been hired?
Is because he does not call plays. He needs to get a job where he's actually calling plays to prove.
I'm gonna send you something about Eric Bieniemy. There's more about him than a lot of people they're letting know about. There is, man. I'm saying that's why he hasn't been hired by nobody.
If it was, then why didn't Andy Reid let him go?
Andy Reid, didn't he have his wasn't his son on the staff drunk killing
That's
kids?
not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm asking you, why didn't he let him go?
So Andy Reid, what I'm saying is Andy Reid covers up a lot of crap. He's a good fixer of that. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking bad about Bieniemy. I'm just saying there's a reason why he has not been hired.
Okay, well, if you're gonna say that, then why is the dude over with the Raiders constantly keep getting a head coaching job?
Who's that?
Incompetent.
Who is?
No,
He's only
Daniels.
had 2.
Look,
He only had 2, and he shouldn't have got it. I agree with you.
He's incompetent. Josh McDaniels.
And people hadn't been going after. He hadn't been a
Hey,
perennial.
Look, if you're not this color, you're never gonna get a shot.
Babe. Hold on, babe. Hold on. Let me finish, bro. Let me finish. I'm saying McDaniels has not been a perennial guy who's being interviewed for jobs. He hasn't been up until last year, right? I'm just saying. Think about that. I'm just telling you the question. Why hasn't Bieniemy been hired? Why? That's the only question I'm asking.
You
Well, I
must.
mean, I know there's been.
Go ahead.
D'Amico
my bad,
Ryan's
bro.
don't have no problems. He's getting head coaching inquiries.
Nah, but from what I've heard, man, he's had rumors where there's been like friction between him and players, and I see where you're going with that. Yeah,
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Look, I would love to see Bieniemy there, but we've seen him and Pat Mahomes go off on each other on the sidelines, which that happens. That happens all the time. But there's been some friction there, and that's what I'm trying to allude to. Is that the type of guy, if you're trying to rebuild your culture and everything, that's who you want? My guy, I'd go with Brian Flores. That's who I would go. I'd go with Brian Flores before I even think about an Eric Bieniemy.
That makes sense. Yeah, the Cardinals requested to interview Brian Flores for a head coaching job.
Yeah,
and you can get a brother in Jim Caldwell as well. I mean, who was the one who got fired by the Lions, but he turned us down because he knows. And that's the thing about this job too. It's not an attractive job. Everybody knows it's a lame duck year. So there's a lot of candidates who are probably turning the job down right now.
Everybody's turning it down. Nobody want to coach up under Ron. He's incompetent, and they call him a minority. They call him a minority.
Uh-oh. The internet guys.
Yeah, so it's not an attractive job for head coach. I just want a young guy, and it might not even be a guy that we know. Look, if you look at all the head coaches right now, I think Warren Sharp, he tweeted it out. Every coach right now who's a head coach in the playoffs right now, Doug Peterson's an offensive-minded coach. Andy Reid, offensive-minded coach. The Niners, Kyle Shanahan, he's an offensive coordinator. Who else? The Bills. Sean McDermott, offensive-minded guy. Everybody who's in the playoffs right now. Brian Daboll, he helped develop Josh Allen. So everybody who's in the playoffs right now, even the Cowboys, I say Mike McCarthy, he's an offensive-minded guy. Everybody who's in the playoffs right now is an offensive-minded coach. And that's the way to go. It doesn't have to be a young guy or old guy, but it has to be an innovative mind, an innovative thinker who's not this old school kind of guy in Ron Rivera. Somebody who can be ahead of the game, make decisions, and design a legitimate offense to maximize the talent that you have. Kyle Shanahan, he's maximizing Brock Purdy. We see these guys maximizing their plays. The Bills to help develop Josh Allen. So that's what I'm looking for. Eric Bieniemy, yes, I've heard some things off the field. Mike McDaniel for the Dolphins, there was some off the field stuff too involved with him, and he got a job. So yeah, it's just the NFL. Yes, it is a good old boys club at times. Yes, we understand that. So, but yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Eric Bieniemy get a job. Byron Leftwich, I wouldn't mind seeing him get a head coaching job. I know he just got blown out yesterday. But you got to think he did win a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. So we'll see if he can get a job as a head coach or offensive coordinator. I don't think it will be here. I don't think he wants to come here. I've seen some people throw it out there, but I think at the end of the day, I think it's going to be Pat Shurmur. I do think because he's coaching Ron Rivera with the Eagles. I think it was back in 2000, 2001 or something like that. Ron loves guys who he played with or he coached with. That's who he's going to hire. So I would put 99% down is going to be Pat Shurmur. Darrell Bevel, he had some good spots. You know, he coached Tua last year as a quarterback's coach. Did a good job with Tua. Tua had a solid year other than the concussions. So I think they're going to interview some other guys. They're saying they want to do two to run, two to run to pass, and that's what they want to do. So they want to run the football. And Darrell Bevel did a good job of that. Pat Shurmur, you know, he's coached up some quarterbacks. So. But if you guys want to chime in any more about offensive coordinators and head coach, you can definitely go ahead.
Yeah. Why do they always take the old
retreads?
Yeah, the retreads. Like if I'm a head coach, you know what I mean, and I'm up in age and I'm looking for an offensive coordinator, I'm probably I see the game is changing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna jump out there and hire somebody like Chris Cooley. You know what I mean? Somebody that just that knows offense. You see what I'm saying? That guy knows offense. No one's never talked about it, but everybody know that watches football. The kid know what he's talking about. Like he know what he's talking about when he breaks stuff down. I know he's never coached before, anything like that, but I could see somebody like him calling plays and good plays at the right time. He's been in situations at the right time. He knows to hand the ball off at this time. He knows certain plays to get you open. He ran routes. We seen him break down film. Chris Cooley. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm with Chris Cooley because he called Scott Turner an idiot for not running the football against the Eagles in the first game of the year. He flat out called them idiots for that. the Eagles run a 3-man front, and then finally when we play the Eagles on Monday Night Football, we decided to run the football, and guess what? We beat the Eagles. We finally started to run the football. Another thing, Jeff Saturday, he's a guy that got a head coach interim job. So yes, if he can get a job, then Bieniemy should be considered for something, because that was definitely a good old boy kind of move there, just giving the keys to Jeff Saturday. I know it was an interim head coaching job, but that and Jim Irsay, Warpath, I know what you say about Jim Irsay all the time. So
crackhead, that was a crackhead move. That was a crackhead move. Nobody can justify that move. Black, white, yellow, we can't justify that move. A crackhead, he was snorting lines all the way to the. I'm gonna go on TV. That was an ultimate Madden move. That was a real live Madden move right there. Create a player. That was like he didn't fill a name in. That's like player name. That should go be the coach.
Brandon, did you
go? I second Brian Flores, man. I can see him going to Arizona, getting that gig, man. But I like Brian Flores, man. Leftwich, he's cat from the DMV, man. I would welcome that. I want somebody who's competent. I want somebody who's going to bring innovation to the position. Not be predictable. Scott Turner was just, like I said, it was too predictable, man. You knew what he was going to run, and it was just the most important times was going to be terrible. He was just such a terrible coordinator. So there's a lot of names. Bieniemy would be good, man. I think it's a little alarming about the reports about friction with the players. But whoever it is, I need them to be competent. Somebody who's really trying to be innovative, man. It's a different league, man. You got to be able to work with what you got. And Scott Turner just couldn't utilize what's his name, Heinicke, the best he could. I mean, we know what Heinicke can and can't do. You can't throw more than 25 yards, or if he does, it's very inaccurate. Sometimes he throws in double, triple coverage. But I feel like with a different coordinator, they could have utilized him a lot better. So. Whoever it is, they need to be competent. Somebody who's going to be willing to, bring some innovation to DC and to the position.
Yeah, I just didn't think he got Heinicke on the move enough. You look at what the Giants did with Daniel Jones; they always got him on the move. I don't see why they couldn't do read options with Heinicke like they run Daniel Jones, because they're running Daniel Jones like he's Michael Vick at times. They run a lot of design runs for him, and Daniel Jones was killing us on the ground. That first game, I think the second game he didn't really get us that much, but he's running around bootlegs, all kinds of stuff. They got him on the move. Or even the way the Falcons ran with Mariota out there, I thought they could have did that with Heinicke, because Heinicke, like you said, his arm is limited, so you got to do some gimmicky stuff to get Heinicke in rhythm. And I thought Scott Turner didn't do much of that to help Heinicke out. Lorenzo Simpson, thank you for the donation. He says Matt Nagy should be considered for OC. Yeah, he's not a head coach, but there's some guys who are good head coaches that are good OCs. I think even the guy who got fired from the Texans, who traded away DeAndre Hopkins, he's an OC at Alabama right now. I don't think he would be a bad option as a lame duck. I forgot his name. I can't remember.
O'Brien.
Yeah, O'Brien. Some people would brought his name up. I don't think he would be a terrible candidate. But yeah, Matt Nagy, we'll see. He hasn't been mentioned. It's been Darrell Bevel, Pat Shurmur. They got a quarterbacks coach from Atlanta, and they got another coach, Sudsville, who was a running back coach at Miami. And he's a brother as well. The Atlanta coach, he's a brother as well. I mean, so just throwing that out there. There's some other names that they put out there. Kevin Quinn, thank you for the donation. He says, I hope they take down that Sean Taylor statue. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it a statue. It's but like Sean Taylor, his daughter, she liked it, so I'm not gonna badmouth it at all. It was a Nike jersey and an Adidas or Reebok pants. They changed the pants, they changed the shirt. Everything's Nike. I want to say now they had Adidas cleats on the statue. It's hard to call it a statue, but they put Nike cleats on the statue on the Sean Taylor tribute. And they also put the when Sean would wear the stickers on his helmet. They put that on there. I don't know if it even has hands. I think it has hands. Because Sean would put the little stickies on his fingers as well. I don't think they did that either. But you look at the Ray Lewis statue, you look at the Dirk Nowitzki statue, you look at the Michael Jordan statue. I'm not saying Sean was as good as Michael Jordan or any of those guys, but if you are going to do a tribute to him, you should do it correctly. And I think they definitely could have did a lot better than that. They should have actually got a real statue. So I thought they could have did better, but like I said, his family liked it. So, you know, do you guys want to chime in about that? Did you want to chime in about
Of course, his
major
family
spending?
gonna like it. Of course, they're gonna like it. It's anything that whoever the owner is, like Kevin Quinn said, they need to remove that from the stadium. That is a poor representation of what Sean is and what he meant to this fan base. Excuse my language. Fuck how he feel towards that front office, that coaching staff. It's what he meant to us, what he meant to the game. They are the worst when it comes to. They misspelled London Fletcher's name. They done did so much stuff that sabotage the great ones that came here and contribute something that was meaningful to this franchise. Man, when I tell you, if I would burn, if I'm the new owner, I burn down that
FedEx Field.
Not FedEx. Ashburn's office. I burned that, or I donate Richmond to the that whatever that is. Donate it to them. Man, I redo everything. They've done everything low class. This is the most disrespectful, irresponsible front office and head coach, along with ownership, that has ever been, ever. It's sad, man. You gonna sit, and you know Sean kept that tape on his shield, and you couldn't do that right, and then you gonna go get a mannequin from Zayres who's been closed, J.C. Penney who's been closed, Sears who's been closed, and you gonna present that to us like, oh, that's okay? No, it's not okay. With a stadium that is trash, like Brandon said, the plumbing is running all up. The stairs are falling apart. The seats are falling apart. You really think that we some jokes? Man, this new owner got a lot to do to please this fan base before he can please that product. Please this fan base first. This fan base is why y'all get paid. This fan base is the one that's going to get behind you. We the original 12th man. That Seattle garbage is garbage. They called RFK the real 12th man. You come in that house, if you got some fans in there, will probably be like 100 of them. You're not coming in our house disrespecting us. Never, ever will you do that. Ever would you do that. And to see this mess go on consistently for 20 plus years, nah. And then you got an idiot over and over every 3 to 4 years in the process of incompetence of coaching, incompetence of GM, incompetence of an owner, incompetence of all that stuff. And this team is talented, man. This team can be special. But how special could they be with a mediocre head coach who don't even know if we're in the playoffs? He probably still think he in cancer treatment. He's a fucked up individual, man. Like, I really despise that dude. I do, man. I despise him. I really do. Dan Snyder's already been a class act of incompetence, of a joke, of mediocrity. I really despise them dudes, man. I'm telling you, this fan base deserves better. And if it's left up to me, I'm going to knock all of them out in the podium. And I'll go to jail because I know that Redskin Nation going to get me the best lawyer. I knock all of them out. Fuck
Paul Mooney.
Fuck them.
I got him on speed dial, bro.
Oh man.
Oh Jesus.
Take him to church, Rav. Take him to church. It's hard to follow up on that, but yeah, I mean the statue, and then last year Pat Mahomes' brother was dancing on the 21 sign. I mean, it's every tribute they've done has been a flop. They botched it in any way they can. They took the pictures in front of the porta potty, and I get they're trying to remember Sean, but every time, even the Sonny Jurgensen thing, you have the Sonny Jurgensen tribute or Ring of Fame in the last game of the year. We won the game, but majority of the fans weren't even there. It was 80% Cowboys from what I heard. I'm happy we won the game, but every tribute they do, it feels like they botch it every single time. They just can't get right. They can't get right. Let me see. What other question? Did anybody else want to chime in about that too?
That one. Nope. Yep. Good.
What'd you say, Kenny?
He crushed that.
Next question.
Let's get to free agency. We'll do rapid fire with that. So 2023 free agents, who should stay, who should go. We'll start out with Cam Sims and Joey Sly. Brandon, we'll do two free agents at a time. Cam Sims and Joey Sly, who should stay, who should go, Brandon?
Keep Sims, the Sly guy, go. Easy.
Okay, how about you, Warpath?
Keep both of them, bringing competition for Sly.
Okay. How about you, Kenny?
I like that answer, Corey. I agree. Keep them both competition for Sly. That probably make them a little bit better.
Okay. And that's one thing with Scott Turner too. I don't know if it was a quarterback play that didn't get the ball to Cam Sims enough, but I thought Cam Sims definitely could have got some more targets. I understand we could barely get the ball to Terry. I thought Terry didn't get enough targets. I thought Jahan didn't get enough targets, honestly. Curtis Samuel, he definitely tried to force feed Curtis when he could, but I thought Cam Sims, we had a lot of red zone problems. I thought Cam Sims definitely could have been targeted more. He's a guy you saw him moss Trayvon Diggs last year and talk trash. We love seeing that, and he's a good red zone target. I thought we didn't use him enough. Same thing with Logan Thomas in the red zone. So I thought that was some of Scott Turner's downfall as well. And Cam Sims, if he does leave, I'm not mad about it because we already have a good receiving core. De'Ami Brown would be the fourth guy, backing up Terry, Jahan, and Curtis. Dax Milne is still on the roster. I'm not very high on Dax, but if Cam Sims leaves, it is what it is. And how about you, OG? if you have no answer, it's okay. Joey Sly, he definitely can go. I'll answer for you. Joey Sly, he missed how many extra points did he miss against Dallas? He missed the extra point. He missed the kick.
Less than Brett Maher. Less than Brett
Maher. But he still missed a lot of kicks. He left a lot of kicks. The Giants gained the extra point. That hurt us too because it was 12-20. We had to tie it up, even though they got us with the pass. They didn't call it pass interference. Even if we scored a touchdown, we still would have had to go for two. And we never make 2-point conversions. So Joey Sly definitely put us in bad spots. Let's go to Daron Payne. That's probably the hottest name out there. Daron Payne, and let's go with Cole Holcomb. Daron Payne and Cole Holcomb. And we'll start with you, Brandon. And what do you think would happen to Daron Payne? You can say what you would do with Daron Payne and his contract. What do you think this front office will do with Daron Payne and Cole Holcomb?
I would sign him long term, easy. Because him and Jonathan Allen been anchors on that line, man. Especially, I don't think we're going to be able to pay all four. I think that you go ahead and lock down Allen and Daron. We got Allen locked down, but Daron Payne. But eventually, you got to choose between Chase Young or Montez Sweat, man, because you're not going to be able to pay all four. But I think they're going to franchise tag him. I think that's what the move they're going to make. Cole Holcomb, man, that's tough because he has his strengths and he has his downfalls, man. He got exploited this season, but I would bring him back. But it wouldn't be from middle linebacker. I will definitely keep him on the outside.
Definitely, yeah. I think you got to do what you can to keep Daron Payne. The thing is, does he want to be here? I know he wants to get paid. So he's really looking anywhere to get a check. And if you don't show him the money, then he's going to walk for sure. Knowing this franchise, we franchise tag Brandon Sheriff, twice? I'm not going to put the Kirk Cousins thing on them because that's a different regime. We franchise tagged him. But just knowing history with this team, I think that a franchise tag will happen with Daron Payne. He's going to get big money. John Allen just got paid $18 million. I think he's going to get paid more than John Allen. The market is going up, the price is going up, and he had 11.5 sacks as a defensive tackle. That's just insane numbers right there from Daron Payne. Cole Holcomb, I don't mind bringing him back, but Warpath, I'll let you go.
I'd set the price for Payne, and I really wouldn't move it at that because you got to think. Ridgeway coming back, he'd be healthy. You've got Fedarian Mathis coming back too. So they're kind of built to survive a loss like that. Well, I want Daron Payne back, right? But you got to know he knows his worth in that situation. Cole Holcomb, we have no linebackers. We just need bodies, damn it. So bring him back on a veteran minimum or something. He can walk around with half a leg. So we need the linebacker depth. So I would bring him back or on a 1-year deal and see if he can prove it.
Definitely, yeah. We need the depth. We don't have a lot of linebackers on the roster. Daron Payne, like I said, I think it's going to be a franchise tag. How about you, Kenny?
I would like to keep him, of course. I mean, he earned his money though. I feel that. I can kind of tell though he want money. Even when they was asking him questions in the locker room, he's just like, man, I just wanna, what I'm worth. I said, he on money. He on money, but he deserve it though. He deserve it. Like he worked for it. I ain't gonna take no food out of that man's mouth. Like he deserve it. He surprised me. I'm like, man, wow, where was this at? It's like, I mean, he always had it, but he kind of like broke out this year. Like he wrote that check and he can cash it now. But I think we can't afford to keep him. I think somebody's gonna overpay for him. Honestly, the only way we keep him if we franchise tag him. But if I was them, what I would do, sign and trade. Yep.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I can see something like that happen. I can see them try to franchise tag and trade them.
Yep.
How about you? Yeah, go ahead.
If I wanted somebody like if you really trying to put people in the seats, go after Lamar Jackson. If you can't get him, if he could be had, that's the only quarterback I would pay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would love Lamar here too. The only thing is the injuries, but I would love Lamar here too. I just know he wants to get a bag, and I know he deserves to get paid too. He deserves to get paid.
I pay him.
Yeah, definitely. He deserves to get paid. You definitely got to change your offense. Can we get a coordinator in here that can definitely tailor, to his strengths and build an offense around Lamar? So, how about you, OG?
I love me some Daron Payne, man. I do, man. And I'm like Kenny, man. Tag him and trade him, man. Build an offensive line. You can always find another defensive tackle. You can. It's hard to find those edge rushers, man. And we don't know what we have in Chase. We don't. We know what we got in Sweat. And to some level, we don't know to the fullest of the totality of what we have in him, but we know we got somebody special in Sweat. Daron Payne is special, man. And when you tag him, it's going to be a couple of teams that's going to probably want to give up maybe 2 seconds or maybe a first. And you go for it and you build this offensive line up, man, because no one wants to come in here and be under duress under that center with Ron. And I just don't know. I really don't. I don't. If I'm Daron, I'm asking him to trade me because right now, our current situation, we don't know if Snyder's going to sell the team. And Ron and Jack, they are just 2 lazy individuals, man. They really are. They're not creative about the flats are still wide open. The middle of the field is still wide open. Like these dudes come from Alabama. They used to winning. You can't take a dude from winning to dudes that love losing and putting you in bad positions. So I mean, it's tough, man. And man, I'm gonna be quiet, man, because I'm gonna end up cussing and saying some more stuff I shouldn't be saying, man. I'm gonna be quiet, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think you had a good take on the D line. We don't know what we got in Chase. He had an ACL injury. His rookie year was good. His second year was definitely disappointing for any standards. And I think he'll say it himself. He didn't play well last year. And then him coming back, I'm happy that he came back, but I didn't have any expectations. I do see people bashing him for not, being impactful in the Cowboys game. But I thought he was good in the Niners game. I thought he was flying around, running around. Browns game, I didn't really see him impact the game much. He can stop the run. But I won't make any evaluations on Chase until next year when he's fully healthy. He's got a full off season. So we'll see how he bounces back. But Sweat, I think we know what he is. He's a good player. He can rush the passer. I don't think he's an all-pro player, but I think Sweat is a good player. He's a solid player. He's a great player for this team. He puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback. There's a lot of times where he was getting there, but he wasn't able to finish. At the beginning of the year, he was struggling, and then through the middle of the year, towards the end of the year, he did a lot better getting home, getting pressure on the quarterback. How about you, Brandon?
Whew, man, I still believe in keeping Daron, man. To me, if I trade anybody, it's gonna be Sweat, because like you said, you can get going down the line, re-signing Chase Young, man. You can get him on the cheap because of all the issues he had with injuries. So you have more wiggle room as far as negotiating with keeping a Chase here, man. I trade Sweat. I would keep Daron because I mean, look with Allen and Daron and with Payne, man, they shut down the run, and they're getting sacks. I mean, you got two guys that play an all-pro level in the middle of the line. So I do whatever it takes to keep them, But as far as our D line, you're not going to be able to pay all four. You got to look at Chase and say, with the injury issues and a lot of issues he's had, you can get him on a cheaper deal just because of the injury issues. So if I trade anybody, it'd be Sweat. But I would say this, man. I am intrigued by Mathis. Like you said, we're good if he does walk because I think Mathis can step in and he can fill that spot. So I mean, I think we're good either way when it comes to that spot. But if it's me, I'm re-signing him because he's that much. I mean, he's a monster in the line, man. Him and Allen they're monsters. You got to keep that together, man. So that's where I'm at with it.
And they play a lot of snaps too. Like they play some of the most snaps in the NFL. Like they don't get any breaks. John Allen, Daron Payne, they barely get any breaks. John Ridgeway would come in a couple of times. Mathis got hurt, but that definitely hurt the rotation. They play a lot of snaps and they're gassed at times, but they're still getting back to the quarterback. They're still stopping the run. The left hand up. We don't win that Falcons game without Daron Payne putting his left hand up and batting down that Marcus Mariota pass. I see you wore past. So Daron Payne, man, he's a defensive tackle that's getting sacks, not just stopping the run, but he's getting pressure on the quarterback too. And that's one of the things that's the knock on Mathis. He's a space eater, but he doesn't get back to the quarterback. He doesn't get back there and cause pressure and wreak havoc like Daron Payne does. All right, so other free agents, we'll wrap it up here. We'll wrap up free agents. So Taylor, we'll talk about Taylor Heinicke real quick. But other guys, I mean, like David Mayo, I know you guys will probably say he can walk. Bostic, y'all probably will say he can walk. Jonathan Williams is a good running back. I like him. I wouldn't mind bringing him back in training camp. Warpath looks like you're saying no.
Yeah.
You got Jared Patterson.
Let him walk. Get it. I'd rather you could never be too young at the running back spot.
I mean, you got Jared Patterson. Jared Patterson looked good in the Cowboys game. So I want to see him get more of a chance and more of an opportunity. Jaden McKissick, would you guys? He's not a free agent, but would you bring Jaden McKissick back? You guys can just,
Let him walk, man. Let him walk. Bye.
How about you, OG?
I'm all for whatever's gonna make this team better, man. It's hard. I mean, like,
Jaden McKissick stay or no? Because I don't even think you heard.
I don't know. Like, this dude believes in John Bostic, man. A dude that is actually a liability. He believes in him. He keep bringing him back, putting him in the game. Like, I don't know. I really don't, man.
Emergency break glass, sign John Bostic. That's what it is.
That's crazy.
Oh shit.
That's crazy. That's true.
Yeah, Trey Turner's a free agent. Stay or go.
Get his ass out of here. He can't get out of here.
Goodbye.
Yeah, AOL. Goodbye.
All right. So Taylor Heinicke, what's you guys' thoughts about him coming back? Would you bring him back or no?
Back up.
I think to properly develop Sam Howell, sadly, you've got to let Taylor walk. Okay. I think you got to let him go and just cut that umbilical cord, because I think there's a segment in the media, in the fan base, and listen, this is real things to these players, right? And they keep on seeing it, keep on hearing it. And the first time Sam makes a mistake, them Heinicke hopers are going to come out and be like, we need Taylor. We need to see Taylor. Taylor could make that throw. Just get his ass out of here. Say thank you. We appreciate everything you did for almost winning a playoff game. We appreciate you. Thank you. And see, have a nice life.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, once I thought about it, yeah, you got to let him go, man. Because once he makes a mistake, Sam Howell, that is, like you said, that little fan club's going to start screaming for him, and that's going to mess up the psyche of a young player, man. So, yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah, the Heinicke hive is real, man. How about you, Kenny?
I mean, you definitely got to let him walk. You know what I mean? It's going to hurt. You know what I mean? But in order for Sam to do well, you don't want to do that right there. The last thing you do is want to turn the whole fan base on him. As a young kid, that'll mess up his mind, his mental. You know what I mean? He's talented, right? So when the talent is not there, it's mental next. You know what I mean? That's it right there. So you know it'll mess up his mental to keep him here. So you gotta let him go. I'm gonna miss him. I'm still gonna follow him on Instagram and all that though. I like Taylor. Cool cat.
Yeah, I honestly I keep him as a backup. It depends on the price. I think Sam Howell, I think they definitely should keep the keys. Give him the keys regardless. Of course, there's got to be a competition. He's got to beat Heinicke. But if Heinicke wants to stay on a reasonable price, I'd bring him back. But if he wants to explore the market, then yeah, go ahead. Congrats to him. If I were him, I'd probably leave because you started Wentz over me in the last game of the season when it was we were in playoff contention. So I get Heinicke, and he got an opportunity because Scott Turner called him up. He's on his couch, all the story. We know the background story. So if he has like a Colt McCoy kind of career where he's just a good backup, I'm happy for Taylor Heinicke for sure. How about you, OG?
I want to do a fire sale. I want to please the fan base. I want to build a new training camp where they can talk about the history of
How about Heinicke?
This franchise. I want his name removed from anything that's part of this fan base. Everything. I want everything gone. I do. I want us to be happy, man. I want us to be able to say we are a proud fan base and we're proud to watch the product on the field. We can't keep dealing with mediocrity. A backup as a starting quarterback. Are we really talking about this dude coming back to the team? And they said if the price going for him is at like 3 years, $59 million. Who's going to pay him 3 years, $59 million to be a backup? Or
he paused. He got that glizzy face. That's a glizzy face right there. Only glizzy. Yeah. Oh shit!
dang!
You back, OG?
I'm good, man. I'm just
wow.
I'm staying focused, brother. I am, man. I'm good. I yield to y'all, man.
Andrew Norwell, he's not a free agent, but if you can cut him, you can save about
out of here.
Get him out of here. Trash.
Damn. Oh, I hate some Andrew Norwell. God. Oh. Damn. He's like the 99-cent store version of Brandon Sheriff.
Yeah.
In every form and fashion. God.
He is.
He is trash, man. God.
Yep, we got Andrew Norwell came from the Jags, and Brandon Sheriff was on the Jags, and they're on the second. And they're in the second round. All right, so we'll wrap it up. Last question here. What's and then Carson Wentz, of course, we all agree we're gonna release him.
I'm driving him to the airport. Get out of here.
All right, last one before we wrap it up. Rank the biggest position of need you guys want to see the team go after, and then we'll wrap it up.
Offensive line.
Yep. Easy.
Yeah.
O-line.
Yeah.
Linebacker.
Okay.
Corner.
All right.
Yeah, corner.
Yes, sir. All right. We thank you guys for tuning in, man. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys sub these guys up, man. Make sure you guys follow OG on Instagram. I want to say it's DC _ Bay on Instagram. Make sure you guys follow him. I'm pulling up right now. I know he's got to go. We're all about to wrap it up, but let me see if I can find his Instagram real quick. But and then make sure you guys definitely subscribe to Warpath, Washington Commander content. He does lives. You're going live for the playoff games too, right?
Yeah. Starting Saturday. Yep.
Yeah. So if you guys want to get playoff content, definitely check him out for sure. Never a dull moment Warpath, and he gets great guests on, man. He's a hell of a Commanders YouTuber. Make sure you guys subscribe to Brandon Scott as well. My co-host Locked On Wizards. Make sure you guys subscribe to us as well. Brandon, he does stadium reviews on his own YouTube channel as well. And make sure you guys subscribe to Kenny Man DMV for sure. Does basketball content, all kinds of stuff, challenges, different kind of basketball stuff, man. Crossing people up, crossovers, dunking on people, all kinds of stuff. Make sure you guys sub him up for sure.
Everything. Hey, I gotta go like that. All this pain and suffering. I really get mad when I watch the Commanders game and I'm like, I'm going to the gym. And they be like, why is he playing so hard? Like, bruh, you don't know my pain. That's why. I just bring the camera with me and it works.
Try watching the Wizards, man. You're going to go on a marathon.
Oh yeah, OG's Instagram is _pocket_bay. His profile picture is Carson Wentz. This is a
He went
chunky
to
version of
sleep.
Carson Wentz.
He fell asleep for oh, there you go.
There you go.
Oh man. All right, y'all. We're gonna end on that, man. Thank you guys. Make sure you guys subscribe. Hail to the Commanders. Peace.